What's up guys, I'm Caden with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another update on Turbo. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so if you guys watched my last Turbo video, I was talking about how Turbo has officially started breaking out of this falling wedge. And over the last few months, I have drawn Turbo in multiple falling wedges, and every single time we've started to get a breakout, we've had a decent move afterwards. We started to break out right here, and then we ran up over 100%. We started to break out right here, and we still had a nice move, however, then the market started to drop. And then right now, we've started to break out of this falling wedge as well. So this could be just the beginning move for Turbo. What I do want to make sure you understand, though, is that this is probably going to be connected to the rest of the crypto market. If we come over here and we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is getting a nice move off of the 21 weekly moving average. This is the level that I've been telling you guys to watch for a long time now. And you can see that we had a textbook bounce off of this level. That's exactly what you want to see in regards to a support and resistance flip. And if you look at the stochastics, they're already oversold at this point, and now they're starting to push up a little bit. In my personal opinion, from a technical analysis standpoint, Bitcoin looks very good, at least on the weekly time frame. However, I would like to see where this candle actually closes on Sunday. Now, if we look at Ethereum, Ethereum's in an interesting situation. Ethereum's a little bit different than Bitcoin, because realistically speaking, Ethereum has been pumping since April. Now, it did have a little bit of time to reset throughout May and June, but if you just look at this chart, it's pretty much been pumping since April. And if you look at the RSI and stochastics right now, they're still very overbought. Now, the stochastics have started to reset a little bit, but we'll see what happens. But this is why I've been telling you that I wouldn't be shocked at all if we do see Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance actually get a bounce. Because Bitcoin dominance in particular came down and almost nailed our measure move perfectly. I've had this bear flag and measure move drawn since July. And oftentimes if you do come down and hit the measure move, you will see a little bit of a bounce. Now you could argue that we've already gotten the bounce and that we're now having a textbook rejection off of the 21 day. You can see that price action is absolutely struggling to get back above this level. Honestly, that's exactly what you want to see. We would love to see Bitcoin dominance continue putting in lower lows. The lower that Bitcoin dominance drops, in theory, the better for altcoins. So I'm not saying that I want Bitcoin dominance to bounce. However, from a technical analysis standpoint, it wouldn't be shocking if Bitcoin does continue to climb and Ethereum does pull back a little bit more. But what makes it interesting is because naturally if Bitcoin is pumping, then you also expect Ethereum to potentially pump with it. So we'll just kind of have to monitor the situation. Purely from a technical analysis standpoint on the weekly, Bitcoin looks a lot better than Ethereum. I'll just say that. Now, if we come over here and we look at meme coins, you can see that a lot of meme coins are starting to bounce with the market. Dogecoin, for example, is up almost 19% in the last week. That is actually a very nice move. And Dogecoin in particular is getting a lot more love recently because of the ETF news. But as you scroll down, you're starting to see some larger moves. 19% on Pengu, 22% on Bonk, 22.4% on SPX. But if you continue to scroll down, you can see that Turbo is currently the 166th largest crypto, but it's only up 5.2% in the last week. So from a percentage standpoint, you can see that it's in line with a lot of these projects. However, it's underperforming some of the top gainers. But as I pointed out from a technical analysis standpoint, we have seen a breakout from the falling wedge. So this could absolutely turn into a larger breakout. But if we click on Turbo, you can see that Turbo's volume is not bad. 21.2 million, and that's with it being down 18%. Now, to be clear, this is nowhere near as high as Turbo has been in the past, but I'm just talking about projects in the same market cap range. It's very competitive with everything around it. And if you scroll down, you can see that a lot of the volume right now is coming from HTX and Binance. HTX actually has 22.8% of the volume. That is a large chunk of volume. And then if we come over here and we take a look at the Turbo X account, they're just under 113,000 followers. And they just posted right here 5 hours ago. Turbo finds stillness in the storm. Through inner peace, he unlocks true strength and self-discovery. And I talk about it in almost all of my Turbo videos, but I love these little posts. They give these little motivational quotes. And the reality is that the crypto market is extremely emotional. It is completely built on psychology. You have to be able to weather through the storm or you will lose every single time. It does not matter if you understand technical analysis. If you simply cannot hold through a storm, then you're going to lose. You have to have genuine conviction in your plays. And obviously that's not me saying that Turbo or any other project is guaranteed to explode. But I can promise you that if you don't have conviction, you will lose every single time. Because the market is always going to try and shake you out. But as you scroll down, they're still very active on here, which is exactly what I like to see. I always talk about it, but it's very important to stay active in here, especially whenever the market's bleeding. And definitely whenever it's pumping. But naturally, a lot of your community is going to be scared when the market's bleeding. So you have to make sure you can keep everyone engaged. But honestly, there's not a whole lot to go over specifically with Turbo right now. What is very important for you guys to remember is that the next FOMC meeting is on the 17th. So there's a good chance that we'll see a volume spike based on whether or not we get rate cuts. Now, I'm not saying that price action is for sure going to spike to the upside. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I won't be shocked if we do see a volume spike. But as I said, also for Turbo, keep your eyes on this falling wedge breakout. We were watching this structure to see if we'd break to the upside or if we would break to the downside, and this is a clear breakout to the upside. But if you guys are interested in turbo updates and just getting into projects super early in general, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord as well. I say it all the time, but we've been printing in here this entire cycle. Some of these plays you could have turned $1,000 into over $200,000. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. It'd be a blessing to have you in here with us. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about Turbo. If you found this content valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.